Welcome to OOO, an out of ordinary podcast where we dig deep into case studies and the nitty gritty of Web3 marketing. You'll find here all the amazing people that are building Web3, so stick to us as we address their marketing secrets and learn how to build amazing products and brands. Hello everyone, I'm Alex, your fellow Web3 marketer and the host on Out of Ordinary podcast. This is episode 43. Before I introduce you to my new speaker, I wanted to thank you all for tuning in and for being with me for the last year. There are close to 10,000 of you that have been tuning in and they have been finding this podcast as their go-to place to learn more about Web3 marketing, especially you Web2 marketers trying to move into Web3. If you want to help me support the show, you can now do it both on Patreon and Unisub with donations in fiat or crypto. You can donate as little as $5 a month and still have a huge impact. Because I have been running this podcast by myself for the last year, and I really appreciate you all for helping it grow. And now more than ever, I need your help. If you want to help bring more marketers and more amazing founders on the pod and basically transform this podcast into your go-to resource when it comes to anything marketing related, you can find a link to both Patreon and Unisub in the description of the episode. Thank you so much in advance. Now, without further ado, let me introduce you to my guest. Nodo Ivanidze is an active builder and investor in the Web3 space. He's the founder of Metaviu.io, which is the largest advertising and immersive experiences network on leading Metaverse platforms. Nodo consistently educates brands on how to effectively leverage new advertising mediums such as XR and VR. In addition to being a serial entrepreneur, he's also an angel investor. Hi Nodo, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing great. How about you, Alexandra?
I'm good. I feel like I'm always messing up your name, so I would want to apologize for that. Thank you so much for being with me today. It's a pleasure. I think I've never had an episode talking about the metaverse. I think it's kind of something that I've been avoiding, but I'm really excited that we're having this recording right now. And to kind of kick it off, can you please tell our audience who are you and how you got into Web3?
Yep. So first of all, thanks for inviting me. Actually, many people are scared about the word metaverse when they hear it. So sometimes I even use the word virtual worlds instead of metaverse. That's how we are in this age. So I'm the co-founder and CEO of Metaviu, the largest gamified experiences marketplace on united both decentralized and centralized virtual worlds like Roblox, Fortnite, Minecraft, Decentraland, Sandbox. And I'm doing the Metaviu almost 2.5 years, but I got into the Web3 around 3.5 years ago, when I first bought my land in Decentraland, and everybody was thinking I'm crazy in my friends and family, like you paid in piece of kind of code on the blockchain. And but I really enjoyed getting connected with communities, and then I took the money of buying lands in so many different decentralized platforms. Some of them even don't exist now after the metaverse hype went down, but that enabled me to get to know the Web3 culture, which is totally different than we are operating any businesses in Web2, because almost 14 years I'm doing different enterprises, mostly in edtech and fintech, but jumping into Web3 was so much different than building startup in real life. So it's amazing space. It's very interesting. And to be very, very short, my story started in Web3 from the land ownerships, and then I moved to buying cryptos, NFTs, and etc. And finally built my own company and business there, whatever kind of small gaps I saw in the metaverse platforms. And myself as a landowner, what I was missing, that's how came also idea of Metaviu from the beginning 2.5 years ago.
I wanted to ask if you're one of those people that started in 2017 or 2020, or what's the story there?
So actually, I bought my first land in Decentraland in 2019, not 17, not 20. At the time, Decentraland was just it started in 2017, and in 2019 already you can see your piece of land and stuff. So I was not too much crazy just to buy on the premises. So, but it was too early, like so many early adopters and pioneers in this space. We were doing small meetups, even small virtual events inside the platform, and it really helped the community to get together. And we're always talking, we are too early, a couple of years. But at the end of the day, I think these things are taking on slowly, and it was very great experience jumping into this space, even though many people at the time were thinking to us as a crazy people who are just following the hype or trusting some blockchain or piece of code, as many of my friends were telling, getting into this space. But basically, then we saw many interesting use cases, which really motivates me as a serial entrepreneur or business person who just only not follows hypes, but really tries to create the nice use cases, which is needed in today's world. So.
I'm really happy that you mentioned that because we're going to be diving into that a bit later. Something else I wanted to ask you is that exploring new advertising mediums between Web 2 and Web 3 is pretty fascinating, if you ask me, and I think if you ask any Web 3 marketer as well. How do you see the landscape evolving, and what opportunities does it present for brands and marketers, in your opinion?
Oh yeah, it's like huge topic which everybody just talks about, and then many marketing agencies or big companies already starting talking about it. Like before, like if we move back 2 years ago, like nobody was taking seriously this field, even like brands or major analytical companies. Now everybody is doing their predictions and wants to jump into this space because. Things are changing, right? So we are seeing many different tech disruptions. Like I want to always like go back to history, and like in 2010 I had a digital agency. We were teaching companies how to create Facebook business pages and then how to run the ads, right? So when I look back now, I'm laughing. At this moment right now, we are in the same space teaching companies, and it's like also finding out ourselves what works best, what doesn't work best, right? So there are so many interesting companies popping up, like creating loyalty programs for the brands on the blockchain, also like creating Google Analytics type of software or CRM, which is reading all the data on blockchain, and marketing people and digital advertisers analyzing that, even though on the blockchain or in Web3 you don't know users name, last name, or whatever, most of the people move around with their wallet addresses. This data is basically open and for everybody, right? So you actually know specific wallet address actions, right? So if they saw your advertisement and logged in your website, did the buyout, or what holdings they have in their wallet, right? And then we saw a huge number of companies popping up, analyzing data on the blockchain and bringing valuable insight to the advertisers. And since I'm very much involved into advertising from my previous companies, starting from email, SMS marketing, Wi-Fi advertising, and many others, I really enjoy new opportunities which Web3 advertising brings to the brands and companies, because it's totally different model of analyzing analytics, and then at the same time embracing the blockchain technology in a way to better understand your customers, analyze them, and create better loyalty programs and reward them. It's a good opportunity. That's how also motivation came to start the Metaviu, because I saw the potential these things will be next kind of disruption in the advertising industry. It's too much manual things now. That's why we don't get to the massive adoption at this moment. Still many manual input is involved in running, operating, and managing the campaigns. It's so easy now on Facebook, right? Anybody can go open the business manager or Google advertising or any other platform. We will be getting there, but we are too early. Everything is manual most of the times. So that's why not many people are jumping into this space at the same time, but it provides amazing values. And I will be later on, or if we'll have chance, we'll be talking of a couple different case studies, how Web2 and Web3 brands are using new channels of Web3 advertising for their campaigns. So both better studies.
I was actually scrolling through Twitter this morning, and I saw that there was somebody talking about the fact that they predicted at the beginning of 2023 that more companies will be getting into Web3, but it was actually, what he said is that they were actually the opposite happened, because they only like tested the waters and they used it as a way to expand their audience. That's exactly they didn't really immerse themselves like properly into it. So maybe 2024 is going to be the year. Let's see.
Yeah. So quick thing was that, like, basically I would say, last 2 years was experiments, right? So every brand was doing experiments. Not many people, not us even, had too much understanding what works, what doesn't work. So mostly we were seeing like one-time campaigns. Some brand was popping up even in Decentraland or Sandbox, doing some small activation, and then everybody forgot about it, right? So it was kind of following the hype and at the same time doing lots of testing what works. Some brands even find out what I'm doing here, it's not for me, right? So I always like to talk both like success cases and worst cases, right? I don't gonna name specific brands, but for example, like banking industry opening headquarters in Decentraland was total failure. Or why should I watch Netflix in Decentral and screen inside the screen when it's not VR compatible, right? So some of the activations we are just following the hype and trying out, and then they understood that, okay, this is not me at this moment. But fashion industry, FMCG products, and a couple other industries found the good traction, especially with the digital fashion, loyalty, and kind of converting digital sales into physical ones. So when we talk about this, basically these 2 years was just experimenting a lot, and 2024 even agencies understood more how to plan campaigns there to have more sustainability and growth and etc.
Yeah, fair enough. What kind of companies do you guys work with? I wanted to say in the metaverse, but I'll just call it the virtual worlds.
Yeah. So basically, like in the beginning we started just very simple boring idea because whole concept of like metaverse advertising was so new. We needed some boring thing to explain to everybody. So we had like billboards advertising system running through Decentral and Sandbox, and then basically we were tracking all the wallet addresses who saw the advertisement, if they really clicked on it and converted into sales or traffic to the advertiser. And we had both Web3 and Web2 brands, like from Web2 brands, coffee brands, Coca-Cola, and many others. But it was just kind of, even for us, testing the grounds and understanding the space. Basically, that was the kind of experiment also from Metaviu side. And then while running operating the billboards network, we really saw the huge benefits into activating brands into the games, right? So creating for the brands gamified campaigns, which enabled users to play, enjoy the game, at the same time engage with the brands, get some rewards, and then at the same time like transfer those rewards into the future sales for the brands. So for us, we had experience working from both industries like Web3 and Web2. For Web3 brands, totally, it was basically transactional marketing activations, because they can right away track if somebody engaged with their brand through their wallet address. They can track if they did some activation on their webpage, if it's DeFi or exchange or any other Web3 project. Or we even had the case of advertising Metaverse platform into the other Metaverse like Decentraland, promoting their land sales, because all the landowners already understood the concept and they found a good success there. For Web2 brands, mostly advertising campaigns, we are just creating different type of experiential campaigns. Not all, like in my case and now in most of the case, when Web2 brands we are doing campaigns, it was not transactional. So it was just like creating different unique experience for their possible or current customers, and kind of excites them with these new opportunities. So, but right now, we see a huge trend, Web2 brands already trying to understand, track, analyze budget spend on these virtual activations and see how it converts into future sales or brand awareness and etc. Before that, it was just, okay, we have Coca-Cola in Decentral, everybody is happy. We are just doing lots of Twitter posts, social outreach, and then we have Starbucks doing loyalty program. Everybody is talking about it. Actually, they did very well, and one of the most sustainable loyalty programs. But yeah, and now more and more brands are looking into analyzing more, like we do usually in the Web2 space, right? So every campaign is analyzed like very nicely. So that's kind of the trend we are moving in, and we will be seeing in 2024.
Something that you guys also played around with was 3D NFT billboards, and I know you kind of switch your attention from that. I was wondering, like, how does or like what happened to that? Like, why did your attention switch? And maybe how does advertising work right now? Like, what are the other options that you're offering or like you're looking into?
Yeah, so every business is evolving, right? Even in this space, and then we needed a starting point, and the main idea, as I mentioned, was coming as myself being a landowner and very actively involved in the community, and at the time, there was not many options to monetize your property in the virtual world. Like you had two options, right? Either run some virtual events or conferences that get some sponsors or rent out your land, and nobody wanted to rent it because there were so many empty lands available. And another version was that to get some brands advertise on your property. So that's how, like, I was discussing with the community, and then came up with the idea of creating 3D billboards, which landowners will be owning them, deploying on their land, and will be getting like 90% of the revenue which was generating from the advertisement. So this model proved to be very successful. We right away had the largest network covering 95% of the decentralized traffic, also Sandbox, and basically it was usual network, right? And DSP, SSP, so we were connecting different advertisers and automatically getting ads to those landowners' billboards. Main thing was that landowners were ones who owning the network, getting majority of the revenue, and also they had the chance to decline or accept the advertisements, and also set their own prices like CPM or daily fixed prices like you price OH advertising. And but at the end of the day, we had some cases coming in, but it was something that's really excited me, because I didn't see too much value from advertiser side as a kind of active advertiser from my side, and it was not something like very sustainable or exciting, right? But it was very good starting point. And while doing those billboards, couple landowners and very active community builders and game builders approached us and told us, hey, I'm running this very active game in Sandbox or in Decentral, and then we have like 1,000 active users per day. We can accept any brand doing some activation inside our game. This was happening already beginning of the year, and then we manually started, like we had the first case with Coca-Cola's activation. We created branded wearables of Coca-Cola, and only 100 in quantity, which was like Coca-Cola jumpers, and avatar should play inside the game, collect some points to get this wearable. And people got crazy getting those wearables, like 100 of them were actually gone in a couple days, and then other people who couldn't get the wearable were buying it on secondary market, because these wearables were basically NFTs on the Polygon network. And we found out that people love this kind of engagement, playing at the same time, getting some rewards. Then we had the second case of coffee brand doing some activation, and then whoever got their digital coffee capsules, who collected most of them, they were getting physical coffee cup, very nice one, delivered to their homes. And then these kind of like 30-day gamified activations proved to be very interesting, both for Web2 and Web3 brands. And we said, okay, we know so many people in the community, so many game developers who are building great games, but they don't have enough resources how to monetize it. And then we did the pivot of Metaviu, and then from this 3D billboards network, we still have it, but we basically transferred to connecting lots of games from various platforms, including Roblox and Fortnite and Minecraft too, because lots of brands shifted their focus from after Q1 2023 from those decentralized Sandbox to more decentralized platforms, where they saw huge number of players. And right now we unite more than 25 games with over 300 million gameplays monthly, and then we are helping both sides, right? On one side, we are basically giving brands ready-made platforms to just do the activations right away in front of so many players, and on the other side, helping gaming studios. But that's not all, right? So there are so many amazing games which we call white label games, which can be easily swapped and rebranding fully by the brand. So this way, brand is saving money of pre-production period, like 6 months, and they can have ready-made engine and right away rebrand with us So basically, this proved to be very, very interesting. And on the road, we are learning so much from both sides, from the game developers, creators, and it feels amazing to empower them because and we didn't went from our vision helping virtual worlds and people who are involved, creators, landowners, or game studios to monetize their amazing work. So many landowners are at the same time game builders or creators. So that's what we did in our case, and I think like we will be pushing this direction very much because at the end of the day, I truly believe that like we are running ads on Facebook, running ads in different games and generating 3D branded objects through generative AI and automatically deploying games will be like couple clicks. Right now, everything is manual work. We will go there and then explain many problems we have at this moment, but we are getting there.
What do you? I'm really happy that you mentioned that, like all these case studies and all these examples of companies and the way they can really benefit from the opportunities that the virtual worlds offer or have to offer. I wanted to ask you, like, what do you think are the roadblocks for like more companies to get into this?
Okay, so yeah, this is very interesting question, and yeah, it's also like very interesting to check the LinkedIn, right? So I always check the LinkedIn feed and see how hype is created, right? So we had the AI hype, text-based AI generators, it went down, and then starting probably this summer, everybody turned to Roblox and Fortnite. If you scroll on like LinkedIn feed, everybody is posting how great it is, how amazing it is, and how it's like next generation opportunity for the brands. Even those platforms are optimizing their engines to be more advertising friendly. Roblox launched their advertising network itself, like billboards. Yeah, Roblox also started from billboards now. It makes very funny, like how we started in Decentral, and then slowly they added some video ads this quarter, and then they will be adding more. But basically speaking, that's we are talking about 750 million gamers. Combined in Minecraft, Roblox, and Fortnite, right? Even though we might call them Gen Alpha or Gen Z, Gen Z is already like people who have the purchasing power, right? And then Gen Alpha is then becoming next generation who will be buyers for the brands. And those people are so different categories. Like if in Decentraland most of the games and players were motivated by the money rewards, like any Web3 person is motivated. So if brand was doing some activations, they were doing huge prize pools to the people to get play, and all the Web3 games were just like simple, not games, right? I wouldn't call them games, like go just collect something. But in Roblox and Fortnite or Minecraft, what's really excites me is that people are spending huge amount of time on daily basis actually playing and enjoying, right? So they are not looking like any rewards, whatever. They just spend the time for pleasure. And this is the best thing, right? So there is no other platform in today's world where you can advertise and have so many time with your customers engaging with your brand. So I truly believe that not for everybody, but for the major brands who want to be more modern and be perceived in these segments as a brand who is looking at them. Really, everybody will be trying it. And what's funny case, I always mention this. In 2022, when I was doing speakerships in different conferences, I only had 5 or 6 case studies of the brand activations in Roblox or any other virtual world. I can put it in one slide. Now I was doing like kind of looking back in 2023, there are so many brands tried activations in Roblox itself or Fortnite. I even cannot remember all of them or put it in like 100 slideshow. Like even American Heart Association did the activation in Roblox, or like Marriott Hotels did in Fortnite, or Lamborghini, right? We were talking, everybody's talking about it like who would imagine like 2 years ago. So things are changing, like industries you wouldn't imagine are understanding that this is like next thing they should be looking at. So we shouldn't disregard 750 million monthly players. It's this huge number, and it's growing. And those people are not using social media anymore. They are communicating. Even my cousins, they talk in Roblox, like they don't use Facebook or anything. So it's becoming social gaming and advertising platform at the same time. Very interesting concept. So
I find it quite funny how like everybody was looking at millennials like a couple of years ago, and right now everybody's looking at like people that are even younger than my brother. My brother is like 10 years younger than me, and I still think he's Gen Z. So that's quite interesting. But kind of going back to the subject and to what you were mentioning, like what is what are some ways that brands can effectively be integrated into like this virtual world, and how can they interact as best way as possible with these gamers?
Yeah. So yeah, this is also very interesting question. So here also we saw huge experiments from various brands in 2023, right? So trend was if brands had enough budget to spare in the experiments, and that's why we only saw in 2023 major brands with huge marketing budgets like Nike Land was one of the first ones opening custom gamified experience in Roblox, and then many others followed like Walmart, Lamborghini, and Marriott Hotels brand, and many others, right? And every and there were some mistakes, right? In the beginning, like brands were trying to create the best branded experience, how it's from the brand's point of view, and then they didn't understand what actually players were looking, and that's why we have seen in 2023 many branded gamified experiences just have 10 or 20 players per day because it was really good quality built by amazing agencies, but there was a missing link between gamers actually and then brand, right? And then they understood that, okay, we need to create the research groups. We need to understand what these teenagers like, because for me, some of the games in Roblox who has 200 million gameplays might be very boring, but for my cousin, it's so engaging. So that's what the shift started, right? And then Barbie experience in Roblox, or Forever 21, or basically like even last one, Legos experience in Fortnite, which actually first time it happened that it overtook the main game in Fortnite, which is Battle Royale. They had the best. It's actually one case study, one podcast to talk about how they targeted Minecraft players and moved them into the Fortnite in Legos experience. So what we saw changing is that brands already understood what players would be willing to look like, and then fine-tuning their experiences towards the games. But here's the case, right? Not many brands are having 1, 2 million, whatever price, whatever money for marketing budgets to fully build custom branded experiences from the scratch and then promote it additionally to get the players. And that's the gap we saw, right? So we wanted to enable any usual type of brand or anyone, even big ones, right, to try out these amazing opportunities. That's why we created gamified experiences marketplace at Metaviu. So whatever brand is doing in their custom gamified experience, we are giving them same opportunities. When I'm talking in-game advertising, it's like basically brand can create this small quest inside the game, ask the users to find their branded objects, or create the makeup competition, or create some outfits for their avatars if it's fresh and brand. If it's like, for example, Fanta, it can be like collecting the oranges and squishing the Fanta and then collecting more bottles. So basically, it goes more like engaging, how to engage players with your brands rather than just creating nice buildings or whatever places and the players just go and see. So that's like biggest change we are seeing, and we see more and more change because even big agencies understanding this is this trend, and all of them are hiring direction like metaverse direction or new immersive experiences direction. Even universities are teaching in master's degree new immersive opportunities. Like we are actually having amazing interns hired from Oregon University who is teaching on masters already this new marketing technology. So shift is really coming. It's not like joke anymore like we might be saying in 2021 or 2022.
Yeah, I think like a lot of us, like marketers as well, at least from what I can see on social media, they're like pretty skeptic about like the metaverse because I think they're calling Web3 is still in very early stages, and like the metaverse, I think it's like somewhere like even
Yeah.
earlier stages, but from what you're saying, it looks like a totally different world, and it's something to be definitely explored, let's say. It's something I wanted to ask you was when it comes to like advertising as well, and like and having a brand interact with all these like gamers, like what do you think are some things to be considered or like to be taken into consideration when it comes to building a gamified experience that really aligns with your brand into this in the metaverse or in the virtual world or whatever you want to call that?
So basically, like in the beginning, what is the most difficult part now for many brand or even agencies working with brands? That's where like we always try to educate them. Like first of all, choosing right platform. Okay, I'm the brand, and should I do something in Roblox or should I do in Fortnite or should I choose Decentraland or Sandbox? Right? If you are a brand or agency, just don't follow hype. If everybody is jumping in Roblox, Roblox might be not for you, right? And then might be Decentraland has 100 times less traffic, but your niche auditory is there. So that's where we start in the beginning, like understanding what is brand looking for, and after that, like what platforms they should choose, because each platform has its specific users, gender groups, and players, right? So after that, basically, then when comes the ideation, kind of tailor-based approach. So if brand is looking to get, while like for example, if Lego is looking to get the Minecraft users, they chose the Fortnite platform, which has the best kind of visuals. It's on Unreal Engine, and basically they targeted all the players to play Lego from Minecraft to Fortnite, and understanding what gamers are looking for. Right now, we see this kind of companies popping up. Analytical companies are kind of recruiting teenager expert players to run ideas through them, like kind of R&D group. We also at Metaviu have our own group of teenagers on our TikTok, Discord, and basically we run ideas with them because it's so difficult. Like I rarely feel the generation gap, what they like and what we like, how they are motivated, what we are motivated of. So first thing is like proper research before jumping in and spending huge budgets. I don't want any brand to look their branded experience and nobody is checking them out, and then it creates a whole negative outlook overall industry. And I'm so happy now I see the companies who really value having gamers as a kind of research groups who will be giving first feedback before jumping in and spending huge budgets. And also from the Metaviu side, before they jump in and create their own branded experience, they can always try joining in other games and try out if their brand is accepted by the players, if the specific platform is acceptable for that with a fraction of the investment, and after that decide where to go. So this is the main questions, and I'm so happy to be involved in this part of the like educational process, and we are learning everybody all together, right? So there will be experiments, but finally we will get to the kind of sustainable mode where everybody already understands what's happening, what's working, what doesn't work, and etc. But we will have lots of fails on the way. Without it, it's inevitable.
I think this is the most exciting part, right? Like being able to be in this stage, or like having the opportunity to be in this stage where you can actually play around with things. I think that's, at least for me, this is like super exciting. And like instead of like being or like ending into a place where everything is already settled, people have already tested things out, everything is already you already know exactly what works and what doesn't. I think this is like a very exciting stage, so I'm very excited for you actually.
Yeah, so exciting space. And one thing like which kind of like basically like Roblox, Fortnite, and like maybe Minecraft kind of overshadowed Web3 side of virtual worlds because it was very hard for them to get the traction. They just kept on the same level of active users. Like I think Sandbox is doing amazing work in terms of partnerships and getting the new brands every time. But still, like I think other side needs to catch up with those big giants. But I think like Sandbox will be one of the leading gaming decentralized metaverse platform with lots of interesting updates coming in 2024. So yeah, that's very exciting to look both sides, right? Because you should always get, all of them have different types of players, and I myself like very supportive of the Web3 side of the things, because anyway, it's a technology which many will be using, even without mentioning blockchain, NFT, or anything, right? So
For sure.
like we don't know like which servers this kind of streaming is run on. We will be using some services running on blockchain. We even don't know it runs on blockchain. So that's also like kind of what's happening in this space. So
You mentioned something there which I think is very important, and that is data and analytics, and like the kind of data that kind of drives your business decision moving forward. What kind of data do you guys provide, and what kind of data is important for this kind of companies when it comes to advertising or engaging or building a custom experience into the metaverse?
so first of all, like basically, as every advertiser or brand, before that, it was very hard to, as I mentioned, get all the data points, and many brands were just doing experiments and think. But right now, everybody is looking for actually to measuring their investments or their money spent on the marketing, right? So what we enable and brands is that if they are advertising and engaging with integrating in different games through us, we collect all the data in one place and then analyze like which one is works best, like how many users engaged, how many users played, checked it, and after that even deciding like, okay, maybe Roblox is not good for you, or Fortnite is better for you, and etc. Right? And then this kind of statistics and analytics will play major part. And I already see some companies really working on this direction. We are using a couple of their services also to get the best statistics and analytics for our advertisers. And yeah. In digital advertising, I don't know any brand who is not asking in the firstly, if I'm spending $100, how much, like what I'm getting, how many, what CPM, what CPC, what CT, what, all the questions. In this space, this kind of questions was not happening. It was pretty new, but it's starting already, right? So everybody is asking, oh, if I'm investing 100K in Roblox, what's the outcome from there? How many gameplays will I get? What, and this kind of thing. So it's still early, but analytical part is easy. Most difficult part will be how to automate brand integration into the games, not with billboards, but with different mini games or 3D objects, or like how I mentioned, like maybe putting some oranges and making available, like making avatars make the Fanta or whatever. This is all done manually, which kind of makes things very difficult to scale, because like you need 3-4 weeks period when the brand comes and what they want. So, but these things will be also changing. That's a good thing. Maybe not like in the first or second quarter in 2024, but by the end of 2024, you might also see so many 3D generative AI startups are popping up. Some of them are generating 3D objects. Some of them are generating spaces. And basically, I really envision that if I'm a brand and signing in, I can like just text, okay, I want in this game to integrate my whatever vending machine of Coca-Cola, and then it directly goes into the game, integrates, and then without any involvement of the human. That's when we get to the level that brands will be dedicating, for example, specific budgets like they dedicate to Facebook or digital advertising, and automatically running ads in different games and etc. That's the vision I want to happen at the end of 2024, and we will be like pushing hard from our side. But we need also like some amazing 3D generative AI startups to get to this level. So let's see how it will happen. But
I mean, like, I think the Web3 is it's a place where like there's so many new companies popping up like every week, let's say. So I think like for sure by the end of 2024, there are going to be a lot more companies developing this kind of stuff. So I'm pretty sure that they're going to really help the industry evolve. So I really have absolutely no doubt about it.
nice.
Something I wanted to ask you was regarding community growth, because I know this is like a very important point for like for Web3 companies. or in Web3. And for many companies in general, we've seen like a big growth of loyalty programs as well. So something I wanted to ask you was like, because you mentioned that like sometimes you companies like target Fortnite players to go into like into Minecraft or vice versa. What are there any opportunities to kind of engage your existing audience or your existing fans in decentralized or Decentraland or like any other this kind of platforms?
Yeah.
And if yes, how?
Yeah. So yeah, for sure. Like there are many amazing platforms. Like one of them is like Zile, which is an amazing, great community growth and engagement tool. On if we are talking on the decentralized Web3 side, even we had the like this first like kind of hardship when we started like 3D NFT billboards. That's where when we had lots of community of decentralized platforms, landowners, right? And it was so hard to find them. Like you don't have their emails. You cannot target them through Google Ads. You cannot target them through Twitter ads. Just so much niche. You just have the wallet addresses of the people. That's it, right? So in the beginning, like in the Web3 space, the best part of building the community was like hosting lots of Twitter Spaces, be active on the Discord, create lots of quests, and this happening was on Twitter and everywhere, right? And then it was so exhausting for many founders because in usual business, when you have the customers, they don't like knock your door every second, from every time zone, and you just have like basically weekends, and then you just go on Monday, work till Friday. But in the Web3 space, when you have the community, you right away becoming global, right? You have people from New Zealand, from US, from Australia, from every time zone, and they are always like in connection with you. If you like basically just take off for 2 days, you are already out. People think, okay, these guys may be doing rug pulls, they are not doing good work. So community in Web3 is very, very demanding. It's pushing founders to deliver on their promises because we've seen so many scammers and many phishing attacks and many other things, right? So, and for the brands building their community, right now we've seen huge expanding in 2023. Platforms like Zile, who enable companies to plug in with their platform, create different kind of quests, and reward the users through bounties if they do specific questions, right? So if you repost my Twitter or if you watch my video, give me comment, give me feedback, you get rewarded for something. And this way, they are trying to keep community engaged, rewarded, and increasing them. And loyalty programs is the next thing which Web2 companies are actively using, and using blockchain technology basically to increase their community and then collect them in one place and give them specific rewards. But yeah, like building the community is the most difficult part, if you ask me, which we tried hard ourselves, and most exhausting also, keeping them grow and keeping them engaged. You might have seen so many dead Discord servers after founders gave up, and dead Twitter pages, or already X. I never get used to the new
I
name.
know,
So
I know. You mean.
it's like I try hard, but I know. So yeah, I think and already Web2 brands also value creating the community and getting right away feedback from the users. That's what like Roblox or even Fortnite activations are doing, right? Right away engage with your players, and then they are very good at giving feedbacks. If you don't like something right away, they're gonna tell you. So it's a very good model, but it's very difficult.
What are some successful activations that you've seen, and what are some maybe bad case studies that you can mention?
Oh, nice. So for the successful ones, basically, we had very interesting activation. I will say like decentralized and centralized kind of activations, right? So we had very nice activation from Heineken in Decentraland. 1.5 year ago, which actually won the silver medal at Cannes Lions, which is the kind of Oscar for creative industry. And they had their product launch in a very nice way with the gamification. Also, we had a couple like very interesting activation from McDonald's in the sandbox, where users enjoyed collecting different like parts of the Big Mac assembling them and then getting some rewards again. But if we talk on the other side, like on the centralized world, Barbie experience was huge hit in Roblox, and I would like point out Lamborghini also, we just recently launched, and Lego experience in Fortnite. This is like the best cases which really they understood what players were looking for and how to seamlessly integrate brand into the game. Because gamers overall hate advertising. If you put billboard in front of their eyes, they're never gonna play this game. And also, game developers hate advertising at the same time. But if you seamlessly blend brand into the game, so why I like Lego? Sorry for mentioning so many times, but it's basically building different type of things from Lego, right? That's actually what the Minecraft is, right? So you are building from different parts your own environment. But Minecraft visual was not very kind of to the level what Lego would expecting, right? So they chose Fortnite, but did the same logic. So that's why it was huge hit. And yeah, like blending your brands and not losing your values at the same time, satisfying the gamers. That's the best thing you should say. And worst case scenarios. Oh my god, I love this. this so like, yeah, you can actually like. Anybody can like go into Decentraland and see so many empty branded headquarters. I don't know. This was like huge money. I don't know why everybody was doing it. Like banks, streaming services, electronics companies like LG, Samsung, many others. I don't want to name any brand. It was experiments for them, right? And then without them failing in, we wouldn't be understanding and learning more. So kudos to them trying out, right? Because at that moment, everybody was thinking, okay, I'm going to open the headquarters in Decentraland. Even like banks were buying the lands. Why I would go in Decentraland for the bank? Nobody checks it. So that was like the cases. I would say like not understanding perfect fit of their auditory. And I'm always telling many brands, hey guys, might be it's too early for your brand to jump into this space. Just wait for a couple months, whatever, and then if you feel that enough users of your brand will be there, then do the activation. So, and then also worst cases was like I would say, yeah, like hotels experiences in Fortnite, which is top A, triple A type of quality of the visuals, but for the gamers, why should I play there? Like that's what's engaging, right? So, but we are learning from every case study and fail, and without those, we wouldn't be here where we are now. So, huge thanks to everybody who tried, experimented, who succeeded or who failed, right? So, it's always good to have both cases and always analyze them and learn more. So.
But do you think they actually failed because they had like no proper idea of like what they're doing and they just wanted to test it out, or because they didn't have like the right partners to build like a proper experience and basically make this a success for them?
Yeah. We had the both cases. One was like following the hype and really not understanding what's happening in this space. What is the culture in the Web3? What is the culture in gaming industry? And just like, okay, everybody's doing it and I will do it too. This always happens in marketing, right? So if everybody is doing it, you also want to do something.
Of course.
Just to create the nice case study or like some news article. Mm-hmm. Another one was like it was not really fit for their brand, but they thought it was. And also sometimes it's the case that not the right partners or fit who are bringing you inside the space. This is also a very big problem, right? So in today's world, everybody is calling experts themselves. It's so hard to differentiate who really means business and who is just like calling themselves experts. That's also a big problem of the industry, right? And it happens not only in this industry. During the .com bubble, everybody was like internet expert, and we've seen so many companies burst and just a couple big ones left. So these things are happening. Like we've seen it. It's not like new something from the years. That's what I'm always saying. Like I lived enough to see lots of things. Even some of them I know from the books. Some of them I know I lived myself. And yeah, we should always look back in the history, right? So when email was created, people were saying like, I have my mailman delivering the mail every day. Why should I use email? But now everybody is using email. Even email is moving out of the fashion, right? So that's the things, right? And every brand and the agency, just do the, like, my recommendation will be, there's a good research before you jump and don't follow the hype. This is the best thing everywhere in investment, in doing things, like even in crypto, right? So if you follow the hype and do some bad investments, you lose all your savings or funds, right? So that's kind of recommendation from me. Before doing anything, just do the thorough research. That's the best thing, which will help to minimize the fail chances.
Yeah, for sure. I think like this is such a great advice, but at the same time, I think it's one of the hardest things to do, especially when in Web3, especially at this stage. Something else I wanted to ask you, I actually have like two last questions regarding like community building and connected to audiences, because we were just talking about it before. The first question I have is the fact that like something you mentioned to me is that like a lot of the majority of these users in the virtual worlds are adults. And I wanted to ask you, like, what do you think are some misconceptions for these brands when it comes to like engaging with this type of audiences, and how can they better connect with them?
Okay, so basically, like, analyzing who you are targeting and what you are targeting is a first thing, like when you are doing the research, right, as a brand, and also it's not only looking at the numbers. So I always say, for example, like, you might look at the decentralized numbers and say, oh, like 1,200 active users per day, it's so small, I would never gonna look at this. Or look at the sandbox and it has even more, and then look at the Roblox and, oh my god, it has so many players, are you really gonna jump in there? But it might be not perfect fit for you, right? So in Decentraland, for example, players are grown-ups, tech-savvy people who are very familiarized with like lots of services, tech solutions, and many other things. And might be this niche auditory is totally for your business, or rather than like Fortnite and Roblox, 600 million monthly players who are really just there to play, and they are not interested in your services at all. But so basically, knowing this is the best thing before starting, and also in community building, you should, like, numbers shouldn't kind of hinder your site of analyzing what's happening behind these numbers. So I would never run the campaign in Roblox just for the numbers and just for the hype, because anyway, it will be an emptied out experience, and I will be losing my investment. So yeah, understand, and it's very difficult also to find out about these auditors. It's not like too much available information.
I know, that's why I'm asking. Everybody's giving the same advice, but at the same time, I know it's like super hard, and in general, not just for this.
Yeah, if you could just go in Google and search like which kind of people go in Decentraland or go in Sandbox, nothing will come up. Or we still have some numbers from Roblox because it's centralized, but basically from the decentralized platforms, you cannot get too much of the data out of it. What you can do, what we are doing, is that basically we are analyzing like wallet addresses from the decentralized platforms. We know which holdings they have in their portfolio, what size is their portfolio in terms of US dollars. Are they active traders, holders of specific collections? And according to that, you can get some idea which kind of services they use interacting with their wallet addresses, and you can get the idea which kind of people you are talking with, right, or auditory. And it's very hard to get this information. Not many companies are publishing it, or etc. So I think still it goes to whom you are talking with, which agency you're gonna be choosing, and if you're asking those questions and they don't have the answer, then okay, I move to other one. that's a recommendation. And yeah, this is also very, very sad, right? Why this information should be so much publicly available for everybody. So if you want to run campaign in Facebook, you know everything, right? But it will be, it will happen. Always on positive note, but right? So we cannot get everything just now. So we need some patience.
I feel like everybody's still afraid that somebody else is going to steal their idea. So maybe that's why they're not really sharing their information. At least like this is kind of my experience. But hopefully things will evolve, and then they will realize that only together we can build like a better place.
This is so funny thing. Like, as an angel investor, I listen so many startup ideas, and then always tell to the founders, right? If you are afraid to tell your idea, you're never gonna succeed in this idea or get even investment, right? Like, it's your idea, you know the best. You tell somebody, you're just gonna get the good feedback from them, or if they even gonna steal, you are one step ahead of them. So it's like very very funny case you brought up. So, but yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that many times. Yeah. One of the last questions I have for you is, what do you think are the differences between millennials and Gen Z, and like how can brands like tailor their experiences to both target groups, let's say, or like what are the differences between them?
Oh, it's so interesting question. Yeah, I find myself as millennial, and and basically, like, I even like compare it on, not on myself, my friends and cousins and etc. Like, what motivates them, especially in marketing and advertising, right? So we millennials basically are used to lots of like social ads, outdoor advertising, many other things, right? So we pretty much make our decisions most of the time through different types of advertisings or we see every day. Gen Z and especially Gen Z and Gen Alpha, I would say, and then late Gen Z and Gen Alpha, right? So some early Gen Zs are like millennials. So and they are like motivated a lot by influencers. This is a huge thing. We never touch this information, but I call like game creators and gamers basically becoming micro influencers, whatever they are doing. Like, so if my cousin is seeing somebody is having some skin, she's trying everything, getting all zero boxes to buy those skin. So they are not motivated with kind of too many promises or whatever they're gonna be getting. They just motivated whatever they see from their peers, from influencers, and really enjoying what they see, enjoying what they are doing, right? So traditional advertising channels like running ads on socials or doing some things don't work on them anymore. That's why like TikTok is crazy with influencers, and why many brands were laughing at the TikTok, and now everybody has their pages in TikTok and doing the content, right? And it's so funny, right? So many companies were laughing about the Roblox and Fortnite. It's a place for the kids. Why I should do any marketing activation? But if you remember, a couple of years ago, everybody was laughing at TikTok. It just some funny videos, and just teenagers are looking at it. Why should I do any activation? I'm serious bank. Now, even like you should see some big corporations having their TikTok pages. So same thing is happening in Roblox, right? Like that's why I'm like always love to look back to the history and compare. Like we have this history not for just history books, right? Everybody can look back in a couple of years back and see same trend is happening in and coming in. So, but biggest difference, just to summarize, will be millennials are motivated by different things, maybe some promises, some rewards, some discounts, some different stuff, whatever they see in their ecosystem and advertising. And new generation is basically motivated by what their peers and friends are doing, or what influencers they see are doing. So this is big part, which brands should be understanding, and some good early adopters already understand it. So.
For sure. Thank you for making this clarification. And like right now, before like we wrap this up, like can you maybe give an example of a tool or like some resources that the audience can go to and check out, or something that you think is like super cool and like as a educational resource, let's say?
So basically, like, I would say one will be at the Metaviu.io. We have our own blog where we always publish on weekly basis different interesting case studies. Not only like case studies we are working on, basically. Yeah, I just want to spread lots of information we are finding out working with so many people from different parts of the like brands or game studios, creators, and etc. And also like GIQ is the best platform to get the idea what's happening into virtual worlds, not only Roblox, Fortnite, but on the Asian part of the world, like Zepeto is Roblox for the Asian market, and it's very huge, and many brands already started integrating there. So yeah, check us out at Metaviu and check GIQ, which is leading analytics and data platform, what is happening in this world. So if you are a marketing person, that's like 2 quick recommendations.
Thank you. Where can people find you?
People can find me on LinkedIn as my name, Nodo Ivanidze, and they can always reach out with me questions. I'm always open to share whatever knowledge we have, because knowledge sharing will help us to make these things even easier for everybody and mass adapt it. So yeah, hit me up. And I always post also interesting topics, and running my own show, basically only discussing about the brands integration and always discussing some behind the scenes of the huge brand activations, what was happening and how it was planned, and etc.
Well, thank you so much for taking your time to be with me for an entire hour today. I think it's been like an amazing discussion, and I can't wait to maybe talk with you in the future to see like more case studies and more examples of the work that you do. Hope you have an amazing year ahead, and I'll speak to you soon.
Yep. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for listening to our Out of Ordinary podcast. If you enjoyed this episode and you would like to hear more content like this, then open up the podcast app and click on the follow or subscribe button. It takes less than 5 seconds and is the single best thing you can do to support the show and stay up to date to more marketing strategies that are being used in the Web3 space.